Anyone else? I really hope to get everybody involved.
Did you have a question? Did you want to wait till later?
She didn't have to wait.
Okay. No. Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
I don't know exactly how it's not really phrased. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but in his Bible study today, he was talking about the three apostasy and the three levels. And I know, like Ephesians 2:8, like we're saved by grace through faith. But at that second step, right there, where does it become like free, like man's free will to leave the faith and not, I don't know, where does free will come in? I mean, if somebody says, I believe, and I know that they have a head knowledge of it, and then...
Can I try to restate the question? Are you asking why essentially would somebody choose to believe even though they're not choosing to trust? They're choosing to believe and then choose not to believe, right? Because we believe a person is totally depraved, we believe a person is morally depraved, which means essentially that person should not want to believe at all anyway, right? That person shouldn't have any desire to believe, so why would they even make it to the second rung of the ladder?
If no one seeks after God.
Why are they seeking, right? Because in a sense it seems like a seeking action. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, let me explain something about, again, and I want to, because I didn't get a chance to do this very much earlier, I talked a little bit about it. Does everyone in here believe, let me start again. Does everyone in here know that the world is round? Okay. But you know that the world is round because someone made a claim that it's round, right? I mean, you didn't actually go out there and check it out. You didn't climb up on the highest mountain and see it being round. You didn't get in a spaceship yourself and go up. And even though we have pictures from space, those could be doctored. Everyone has Photoshop, right? I mean, ultimately, I'm not saying they are. My point is, there's a claim that the world is round, right? That's the knowledge. That's gnosis. I know what the claim is, right? Then a census is, I believe the claim. I believe the world is round. Now, the trust in the world being round means I'm going to get in a boat and sail and know I'm not going to fall off the edge. You see? There was a time when they believed you would. There was a time when they believed if you got in a boat and Christopher Columbus, you're just going to go off the edge of the world and you're going to die.
It's kind of the same, almost the same illustration as what is that Ray Comfort gives with the parachute. Whereas a little bit different, but you can believe and know that when you put a parachute on and you're in a plane, you can know that if you jump out and you pull the ripcord, that it's going to open it up and you're going to land safely on the ground. But until you actually put it on and jump out of the plane, then you really don't know.
And you know it works, you believe it works, but you don't trust it.
You don't trust it to do what it's supposed to do.
But I want to get to your question, and that's very good. That's very true, and it goes right along with what I'm saying. But I want to deal with why someone would believe and not trust. Mankind, even though mankind is absolutely depraved and does not seek naturally after the true God of heaven, man by nature is also incorrigibly religious. Would you agree that mankind is incorrigibly religious? And what I mean by that is people are religious everywhere. People worship dogs, people worship trees, people worship money, people worship anything. Themselves. People worship and they carve out stones, they carve out totems. They create a list of mythical gods, which, Lindsay studies the Greek mythology and is interested in that. And that, but understands it's myth, right? I mean, that we've talked about this before. I don't want anybody to think we're going to blend it. But the idea is that we have here people are incorrigibly religious. And I think that when people see, and the reason why they're religious is I think that there is great fear in death. They want something to be other than this life. The difference between the person who assents to belief and the person who trusts in Christ is ultimately what they're trusting in. The person who assents to belief says, okay, I believe in the claims of Jesus. I'll give you an example. John 6, and Brother Steve preached on this other night before you got here. In John 6, a bunch of people follow after Jesus because they believe in his miracles. He had fed 5,000 people with five loaves and two fish. And they were all excited because he fed them. And they believed, but Jesus said, you really don't believe in me. You're following me because you want a religious leader, but you don't really trust. You don't really have faith in who I really am. And that's where doctrine becomes important. That's where all of what we're talking about, that's where things like the Trinity become important. And things like understanding what it means to believe that Jesus Christ is not only the Son of God, but is God incarnate. It's an issue of not just believing about Jesus, but believing in Jesus. And a lot of people believe about Jesus. And there's a lot of people who are in this world right now who would say that they're Christians, and that satisfies that need for religiosity. They have a need to be religious, and it satisfies the need for religiosity, but yet at the same time it's not true faith. Is there another question?